Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be another round of my TBR game, Scrabble Picks My TBR, this time for the month of July. If you have never seen my TBR game before, it is pretty simple. Every month I spell 5 words in a game of Scrabble, and those 5 words act as my reading prompts for the month. I must successfully complete the prompt to collect the points for that word, and once I reach 150 points, I get to clear the board and start over the next month. Last month, I did read all of the books on my TBR, and I was very close to my 150 points. So I actually ended up finishing the month with 241 points. So safe to say, I am starting fresh with a new board this month. There are not any books in particular that I'm looking to get onto my TBR, so I was really just seeing how things went. I don't think I have anything else to say in this intro, so let's go back to past Jackie to see what prompt number 1 was. So we are starting this month fresh with a clean board, and I have all my special tiles back in play, my 2 star tiles that I can use to switch my tiles without consequence, plus the 1 special blank, which is worth 3 points. Let's get the game started by picking 7 new letters. T, E, D, O, B, E, and last one, U. Okay. Doubt. So this could be like a book that I have doubts about, maybe something I added to my TBR and now I'm not sure if I still want to read it, a book that I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it. It could also be used to relate to a book that thematically is about doubt, like for instance a murder mystery where there's doubt about whether or not someone is guilty. I don't know. So a couple possibilities. Let's see how many points this is. So that's 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. 8 points to start. Hello, so this is Jackie from the future cutting in here to say that I have changed my mind. Yes, I filmed this TBR yesterday, or well, I should say I filmed the part where I chose the books yesterday. And since then, I've changed my mind about what I want to read for the doubt prompt. So I am exercising my right to change my pick because this is my game and I do what I want. So I think what I'm actually going to pick for this prompt is going to be The Alice Network by Kate Quinn. This is a book that I put in my video talking about books on my TBR that I had to read in 2024 or otherwise delete them from my TBR, my read it or delete it challenge. I will link that in the card. The reason that I have doubts about liking this book is because this is a World War II era historical fiction, and I personally have never found a World War II historical fiction that I really enjoyed. But I had added this to my TBR because a lot of people told me it was really good and that I should read it. So, since this is part of my TBR challenge, I think it would be good to try to read it for this prompt. And you know, worst comes to worst, if I'm really not vibing with the book, I can DNF it. And I still allow myself to collect points from books that I DNF because I don't want to force myself to read books I'm not enjoying just to win my TBR game. So I've changed my mind about this prompt. Sorry, I don't make a habit of changing my mind, but I think I'm gonna let myself do it just this once. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming. S. Another E. X. K. And lastly, a U. I'm gonna go with Duke. I read a lot of books set in Britain. I read a lot of books about, you know, royalty or royal history. So I feel like if I look, I can probably find a book that involves a duke, that has a duke in it. I guess if I really can't find one, I can just do nobility in general, but I feel like there has to be something. Okay, this should be a good one because the K is on triple letter. So that's 15 just for the K. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, that's really good. Next prompt, Duke, a book that has a Duke in it. And honestly, this was harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought I would have plenty to choose from since I read so many England set books, but it was actually a little bit hard. I think what I'm going to end up going with is The Maid and the Queen by Nancy Goldstone. This is actually a historical nonfiction book, and it does feature the Duke of Burgundy, so that's why it works for this prompt. The Duke of Burgundy was a very influential duke who ruled in, I believe, what is now France, like northern France, I think, and he does feature in this book. This is a book about Joan of Arc and Yolanda of Aragon, Queen of Sicily, basically examining the potential connection that these two women had and how Joan of Arc ended up becoming so trusted by the King of France. I have read a few Nancy Goldstone books before, and I do find her writing style very accessible. She writes these extremely interesting historical nonfiction books that really center on women from history, including some who have been largely forgotten. So that's what I really like about her books. I love historical books that center on women, and I also love nonfiction books that read almost like they are fiction. So I have high hopes for this. I have liked this author in the past, and this is what I'm going to be reading for the Duke prompt. Another E. I'm getting like all the E's so far. N. And just one more. I. Unisex. And I think, okay, this is a good one. I'm gonna read a book where either the author or one of the characters in the book has a unisex name. I feel like I'll be able to find something. I mean, I can think of at least one or two authors. I'm not sure about characters, but I'll look on Goodreads to see what some of my options are. But all right, let's do the points for this. There's only a double letter score on the E, so that's 2 plus 8 is 10. 11, 12, 13, 14. Next, the prompt unisex. Read a book by an author with a unisex name or featuring a character with a unisex name. I actually found a book that works for both of these. The only one left by Riley Sager. Obviously, Riley is a unisex name that could be used for a man or a woman, and the main character is also named Kit, which traditionally is a nickname for Christopher, but also I have seen it used for women, and the main character in this book is a woman. This is a more gothic mystery thriller, I believe, that is actually partially inspired by Lizzie Borden, the accused axe murderess who inspired that famous rhyme. The main character in this book, Kit, goes to work for this woman named Lenora Hope, and Lenora many years ago was accused of murdering her family, a la Lizzie Borden. Lenora is now an old woman, and she is also mute, so she can only communicate with Kit, her new nurse, by typing to her on a typewriter. As Kit works for Lenora, she suspects that there is more to the infamous Hope family massacre, and that the departure of her predecessor may be more sinister than she's been led to believe. Riley Sager is a very popular author on BookTube, but I know some of his recent books have not been as popular as the earlier ones. I honestly don't know what to expect from this book because I have not actually seen anyone on BookTube review it, so I'm kind of going in not knowing what to expect, just going in pretty much blind. But, you know, even though I don't always love Riley Sager's books, I do like his writing style. I think he is very good at pulling you into the story, even if sometimes the ending is not always my favorite. So I'm interested to see how this one will go. H. C. U. Give me a second, I have like a hair. Okay. R. E. I'm gonna go with cheek. That has the triple letter on the C. Again, this is one that could be interpreted a couple different ways. We could do one maybe with a face and profile, because then you'll able to see the cheek on the cover. Or we could go with a cheeky book or a cheeky character. So again, a couple different ways to interpret this, but let's do the points. So this is going to be 3 times 3, which is 9, plus 4, 12, 13, 14, 19. Is it 19 again? Okay, cool. Next, Cheeky, a book with a cheeky character, a cheeky tone. For this, I am going to choose Murder Your Employer, the McMaster's Guide to Homicide by Rupert Holmes. And this is a book about a fictional school where people go to learn how to commit murder. Which honestly, as soon as I heard about it, my interest was immediately piqued. The Cambridge Dictionary defines cheeky as slightly rude or showing no respect, but often in a funny way. And I feel like this book qualifies because it is literally making light of murder, which I guess some people could call disrespectful or impudent, so I think it works. I believe this book is also intended to be slightly funny, possibly in a dark way. I know that Neil Patrick Harris narrated the audiobook, so I think it might have the tone that I'm looking for here. Obviously, I haven't read it yet, so I'm just using my best guess. But I really want to read this because it just seems like something that I might like. I really am interested in the concept and I look forward to reading it. A. B. L. And hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is the last one. S. I did check, and this is apparently a valid Scrabble word. Blurb. For this, I'm going to read a book that was blurbed by another author that I like or that I've read from before. This should be fun because I am going to have to really go through my TBR and see what my options are. Points-wise, we just have the double letter here. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that correct? Okay. Finally, blurb. A book that was blurbed by another author I've read or enjoyed. Now, a blurb is that little quote that you see on the front or back of a book where another famous author is basically voicing their support for the book, saying what they liked about it. It's meant to encourage people to pick up the book. And what I'm going to choose for this prompt is Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes, as this book was blurbed both by Neil Gaiman and Margaret Atwood. I am not by any means the biggest Neil Gaiman or Margaret Atwood fan in the world. I haven't read a whole lot by either of these prolific authors, but I have enjoyed what I have read from them, and you know, since this was blurbed by 2 authors that I have enjoyed, I figured it made sense for this prompt. Stone Blind is a Greek mythology retelling. It is a feminist retelling of the story of Medusa from Greek myth. I feel like it's been a while since I read a mythology retelling, so this just sounds good to me. I think I'm in the mood for this sort of thing at the moment. I haven't heard a lot of reviews about this book on BookTube either, but I did read 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes and thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that this book will work for me as well. All right, everyone, I think that is it for my July TBR game. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up and comment down below. That helps my channel and lets me know that you're enjoying this content and want me to keep making these TBR game videos. Let me know what you're planning to read in the month of July. And if you're still here, you want to show your support, but you don't know what to comment, why don't you leave me a sparkle emoji down below? My social media links are in the description if you want to connect with me on other platforms, and please subscribe to this channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. I think that is about it for this July TBR game, and I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.